So, okay, here we are. I want to talk about three plants. They the same plant. This one, this another one, and this is the last one. So, this first plant, we'll start with this. So, this is us. We're growing. We're maturing in life. We got hope. We got promise. We got everything we think we need. You know, we're growing. We're healthy. And there seems not to be an issue or problem, but somewhere along the way in our life, we bump into the wrong person, we bump into the wrong situation, we bump into something that turns us away from the right path. We bump into something that is there to try to hinder us and to keep us from processing forward. We bump into something that wants to take our joy, wants to rob us and steal us of all our kind. So then we come over to this plant right here. Once someone comes into our life or into our path and influence us in the wrong way, we begin to take a different shape. From this shape to being healthy, to coming to this shape, to start being unhealthy. You can see the leaves are dying. You can see things are going on here that is unhealthy. There is something that is causing this plant to be unhealthy. And this is the same way in our life. There is something that causes us to be unhealthy in our lives. There is something that causes us to be spiritually unhealthy. There's something that causes us to be mentally unhealthy. There's something that causes us to be relationship wise unhealthy, employment wise unhealthy. I mean, this so many unhealthy things come into our path. And for whatever reason, everyone has a different reason. There's a different way because the devil, he comes at us a million ways. Because the devil, he sits and he waits. He put a thought in our head and he sees how we react to that thought because then that way he know if we react the way he wants us to react, that's the key to breaking us. That's the key to getting to us. That's the key from taking us from this to this. So once we allow the wrong influence or the wrong influential people into our life or the wrong situation, if we start handling things in the wrong way and not taking care of ourselves, not taking care of business properly, or thinking like the devil thought, I, I am this, I made this, I did this, we begin to fall. And then if you keep putting the I and saying I this, in some point you're gonna get to being like this plant and those plants back there, dying, real sick. I mean, the devil fell to the earth because he was kicked out of heaven for being rebellious. And since he been here, he just been putting all sorts of things and roadblocks in people's way to keep them from prospering, to keep them from having the promise that God promised, to keep them from having that hope. See, we started off here and we had so much hope, so much promise. Then something happened along the way to where we got like this and started losing hope, start losing faith, start losing confidence, start thinking that what the world put in our head, that I, and we starting to wither. And then once we continue to allow that to happen, and if we don't stop it, we become like this. But the good part about it, even though you get to this state right here, there's a way to turn back to this state. And the way you turn back to this state is just like these plants. I mean, they look like there's no hope for them. They look like they're dead. They look like it's done with. Because that's what the devil wants us to think in our walk, our everyday life, that we are so far gone, that we are so far gone that we cannot come back. that we are so far gone that there's no help for us, that we are so far gone that God don't love us, that we can never amount to what he wants us to amount to. God don't want us to amount to anything but just to love him. He don't care about our riches. Excuse me. He don't care about the fancy job you got. He don't care about the car you drive. He don't care about the clothes you want. He just want a relationship with you. And to keep you from becoming to this point, God wants us to stay at this point. He wants us to stay healthy and prosper. I mean, if this plant stay healthy and prosper, it's going to grow some great, pretty tomatoes. But if it doesn't, if we doesn't put the right thing in this soil, if we doesn't put the right things to take up the weed and the things that is hindering it and to keep it from growing, it's going to stay at this state right here. And it's going to never prosper. And a lot of things, and this is sad to say, a lot of people want to stay at this state in their life. They want to stay at this state in their life where they're not prospering, they're not growing. They're just in the soil. They're just in the soil and they just barely getting by because they allow the enemy to take them from here to there and to bring them to this state because they think everything revolves around them. We have to stop thinking that everything revolves around us. Deny self. Think about someone else. Go and help someone else this day. Go and pray for someone else this day. Go and ask someone else how they're doing this day. And just like these plants, that will fertilize your soil. That will put the set the size down to keep things from keeping you from not growing. So it's like what do you take from this? In this garden, there are some things that want to destroy these plants.